Guys, it's Amber Rose Red here with another cooking video. This is a preparation rather than cooking right now. But today I'm going to make myself some tabouli. And I choose to use this steakhouse bag brand that I got at Lowe's Foods in my town. This is the kind that has the lemon juice already. This is what I prefer. If you don't know what tabouli is, this is the general description. This has a little bit more than some taboulis. It's kind of why I like it. It's cracked soft wheat bulgur, dehydrated parsley, onion, citric acid for the lemon flavoring. This is not gluten-free, obviously. It's got wheat in it, but this is what the kind I prefer to use. It's a steakhouse brand. I just happened upon it, and I'm going to show you how I make this. This is a type of recipe, for those of you who are not familiar with tabouli, that is one that's going to have to sit in the fridge. So it's something that you prepare in advance, obviously. This is 4 to 6 hours. The longer the better. Especially with the citric acid, it soaks up the lemon. You don't have to use that kind. I'll be right back. Let me show you something else they have in this brand that my mom had gotten that has considerably more, which I haven't tried yet. It has a little bit different instructions, but I'm sure it's about the same. This is just a big bag serving for 20, which is a pound. This is 8 ounces. This is considerably good for me. I eat a lot of it though. I love it so much. And this is only 8 ounces, so half that. But I can use the pound later. So, anyways, if you can hear me, we're gonna start off by preparing the wheat and then chopping our ingredients. Okay. So first off, you're gonna need 1.5 cups of cold water and 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil of your choice. I prefer to use olive oil. I'm going to use this. This is my olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, to the contents of this package. Now, you're going to need a large bowl because you're going to be cutting up a lot of ingredients, which I didn't mention. We're going to be using half of this. It's an organic cucumber that I got at Walmart. I'm going to unwrap it, obviously. We're only going to be using 2 of these tomatoes, but these are vine ripened ones I get at Walmart. They're not the best. They're not as good as I'd want them to be, but that's what they had. So I'll probably be using these 2 larger ones and I'm saving the other 2. Anyhow, I got a bunch, so 2 bunches. We're going to use the green onions. We're going to use all of these green onions, shallots. I guess that's what they're called. And you can do it in any order that you want to, but I'll get to that whenever we're done mixing these contents. So I'm going to take my scissors and open my bag of the actual tabouli. You can actually get this online too if you just look up the steakhouse tabouli and you see what the package looked like. I'll show you again later. So I pour it into this bowl. Used to be my grandmother's bowl, by the way. Okay, and then I'm gonna need 1.5 cups of cold water and 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. So I'm going to do the vegetable oil first. This is a very old measuring cup. We have 4 in there, but this is one I prefer because it actually has 1 1/4 and the rest do not. See me? Okay. So there's the vegetable oil. I prefer to put it in first because then I put the water and I'm going to add it to my bowl. And don't worry about mixing it yet, really. Just kind of slosh it around. And I'm going to put it on the counter. It says set it to the side. Okay. Now we're going to be put this back. We're going to be cubing cucumbers and tomatoes and cutting up the green onions, and I'll be talking, but I always like to have some music while I'm cooking, so let's turn something on. I'm using my new phone because I've noticed that it kind of slows down the video recall when I do the radio on the phone, so it's Pandora. And I find that Toots and the Maytals works just fine. It's just like good radio, happy music. Okay. So I'm going to start with my cucumber. This should already be pre-washed. That's a big old cucumber. It calls for 1 medium cucumber in this recipe, so I'm going to cut it about there. This is a little trick my mom said works to take out the sourness of cucumbers. I don't know if it does, but I always do it. Kind of rub them together when she cut it. Then I'm going to cut off the bottom. Do the same. You can use any kind of knife you want. You can use a small knife. You can use this big knife. You can use a cleaver. But for cubing, I like to use this small knife my mom's had forever. This is my mom's kitchen. Staying at my mom's currently. What I do is I take the cucumber and I start, I don't know if you can see this, I'll show you up close here in a second. Cutting. See that? Okay, and then I do it the other way. I'll show you that in a second. But cut it fairly, like about 1 inch in. It's not going to be perfect every time I do it. You're working with like soft things here. Okay, see that? Okay. I don't know if you can see how far in I cut that. It's about 1 inch. Okay, then about 1/4 of an inch, I cut it down. Not exact. I'm going to keep doing that until I have no cutting area left, and it's not always perfect. Okay, and I'll show you how that worked here in a second. My dad does this with onions. Makes the process a lot faster. And it doesn't always work because you don't always cut the lines concise. Okay. That right there for the moment. See that? That's cubed. I leave the skin on. If it's an organic, I would just leave the skin on. You don't have to do that. You can get rid of all the pieces if you're not using an organic cucumber. I like the way this tastes better. It's not as waxy. So there's my cubes with my skin. This is going to soak in the fridge for a while, so it's going to be soft. So the best part of the cucumber, honestly, the best part that's the best for you is the skin anyways. So I keep it. So I'm going to keep doing this.
Who can turn the world on with a smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement you show it. Love is all around, don't need to fake it. You can never down, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all. How will you make it on your own? This world is awfully big, and girl, this time you're all alone. Well, it's time you started living. It's time you let someone else do some giving. Love is all around, no need to fake it. You can have it down, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all.
Ow! Plastic called like Malamar or something like that. Got them at Burke's Outlet. They've come in really handy, and they're super easy washable, and I like the old retro green color. I'm making kind of a mess because I like using a bigger knife and picking it up. I can't do that with this. I'm not the most coordinated person in the world. Table's clean. Okay, I'll clean up the mess later. Set my cucumbers to the side. Okay. Grab my tomatoes. This one has like a little bruise on it, kind of, so I'm going to use this one instead of the other size one. This should be enough. Okay, so I already washed these. I'm going to cut the top off. Okay. Not a very sharp knife. Set this aside, I'll eat those later, but I don't want to put them in my food. Okay, I'm going to do something similar, because these are pretty firm. My dad's going to start growing tomatoes again. Pretty excited about that. Because there's nothing like a fresh tomato, like literally from the backyard. You can make them smaller, and I probably would. Let me show you. Here's a happy face. Okay, these could probably be smaller. There's juice getting everywhere. So you would cut those a little smaller, probably. Those aren't great. The ones underneath look horrible. So set that aside. Okay. Got my green onions. Pretty sure you know the pattern by now. This is a bunch. I don't buy them in the bag for some reason, because I don't use that much at a time. Okay. Cut the white bulbs off the bottom. That's called a spoonerism, y'all. That's a snavel rake. Okay. Take these, cut them up. Put that aside. Go back to my bowl. It's kind of not moving in there. Get a spoon. Stir it a little bit. One and a half teaspoons of salt. You can use iodized if you want. We happen to have Morton. I sometimes use a generic iodized salt, sea salt. Okay. Pepper. 1/2 teaspoon. I love this spoon because I don't have to use a bunch of different spoons. It's one, and you just whatever measurement you want. Got it at Kmart. Okay. I find that putting the salt and pepper in before makes it easier and less likely to get stuck to the veggies. See that? We're going to come back to it later. I'm going to put a lid on it. Right now it's 2:34. I got some stuff to do. Got to clean the rat cage and all that kind of stuff. It's my day off. And then we will come back to this lovely and see what it looked like. Alright, so it's about a day later. And most of my tabouli's gone. This is the tabouli. See the edamame, aka soybeans, tomatoes, the green onions. I take the soybeans and I warm them in the microwave for 2 minutes. Like, it's about 2 cups of them. That's what I had left in the bag. Sequent Farms edamame. And then I cold them with cold water after that because I'm adding it to something cold so it tastes better. So there you have it. Chunky tomato. Yeah.
Lovely. La 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 lovely.